Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Rune News. I'm your host, Ryan, and as always, it's bloody good to have you guys here in the audience today. We have the Zulrah melee release this week, meaning that we can come together with some strategies. We're going to be talking about that quite a bit in new, fantastic and exciting ways to be able to take this boss on, not just for new PBs and endgame ways to defeat the boss, but maybe early ways to get into farming Zulrah on lower level accounts, maybe even safer ways for hardcore Ironman. We'll be discussing all that and more in just a moment. Next week, Yama is being released, which also means we're not getting a huge load of content this week. Jagex is knuckling down, ready to give us, hopefully, a stable launch of Yama. So I have one question for you guys to answer in the comment section down below very quickly, and that is, with Yama's release next week, have you got any friends to join you, any duo partners for Yama? Or are you a bitch with no friends? Hey, let me know in the comment section down below which one you are. And if you're having trouble finding friends, I've got a Discord community that you can join. It's in the description, discord.gg/BigDickEnergy. Hit the like and subscribe button while you're down there, boys. You know you love the content, and you know we'll be here next week doing Rune News and then live streaming the Yama update. My name is Ryan. You're watching News Rune. My name is Rune News, and you're watching Rune News. More Pole 84 changes and Yama prep is the title of this week's update. Starting off with melee at Zulrah. You can now use halberds for melee weapons at Zulrah, meaning the, the Noxious Halberd and the Crystal Halberd and the Dragon Halberd are now all available to use, along with all the other halberds too, I guess. But why would you touch anything under Dragon? Who fucking knows? Now, you do have to kill Zulrah once to get your Crystal Halberd, but once you have it, that Crystal Halberd can do a lot of fucking damage. For some reason, Jagex isn't lifting the 50 damage cap on Zulrah. For those that don't know how it works, basically, if you were going to do more than 50 damage and you're hit with a T-bow or a Shadow, for example, that damage would then roll between 45 and 50. So you'll never hit over 50, but between 45 and 50 at that point. It's kind of a dead-ass mechanic now, given the amount of gear we have available in this game. They want to keep it for some reason. That's fine, because the Crystal Halberd comes in with a fucking fat 90 damage to clean the cunt up anyway in one hit. Why the fuck not? That's going to be a huge game changer for people wanting to get spec finishes, looking to get those speed run finishes, especially if it's on the red phase. Absolutely take advantage of this mechanic. And you got the Noxious Halberd now. Zulrah likes to do the venom damage. Maybe you don't want to sip that anti-venom anymore. Maybe you want the venom damage to stack up. Stack up pre-Zulrah fight, come straight in with the Noxious Halberd and just fucking knock the cunt straight away as soon as he goes to his red phase. Who knows? Many of fun strategies right there. Definitely usable. Definitely something you're going to want to tackle. This was a thing in leagues. I think it was all melee weapons. Right now they're making it only available to halberds, which also tells us there's possible more halberd ideas or long-range melee weapons coming in the near future. Melee can be useful in some situations, and in some cases can out-DPS certain mage setups. I'm thinking specifically with the red phase, especially with Oath Plate coming to the game as well. That's going to give you a bit more accuracy, a bit more fucking oomph to your damage and your hits, which is going to be really nice. So make sure you keep on top of that. Keep an eye out for it. If you have a Crystal Halberd, I recommend taking that shit. Not many people use specs at the moment at Zulrah unless you're using the Accursed Scepter. That might not be the play anymore. Maybe you do want to go and take that Crystal Halberd. Check it out. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes for you. I'm going to be trying it in just a moment when I go live in about 12 hours time. We'll go to Zulrah and we'll see how it looks, so make sure you come by and check that out. Giant's Foundry bonus action ticks. So for the Giant's Foundry enjoyers, if you're quick on the clicks and hit the button action shortly after it appears, you'll not only finish your sword faster, but you will receive a portion of your missed quality back. Now, in the past, you weren't going to get the quality back. Like if you fucked up your sword a bit, you lose a bit of quality. That was it. But now when you get that, like that sweet spot, that super hit or whatever it is, when it all lights up and gives you a big ching, you get your quality back on the sword now. So it's a nice repair, a nice reward for paying attention at Giant's Foundry after not paying attention. So I fuck with that update. I think that's the end for the Pole 84 stuff now, hopefully. I thought it was last week, but here we are. Easter event's over, like anyone gives a shit, so we'll move straight past that. And then Jagex wants us to blame Yama for the lack of content this week. I'm fucking glad we got an update at all, because usually they just fucking clock off the week before. We get nothing. So yeah, we'll blame Yama for actually getting content the week before a boss release, which is huge. Now, if you're having trouble finding a partner for Yama, here's some straight fire facts. If you can't find friends to play with, you're not fucking trying hard enough. It's a personal problem. Okay, it's that simple. Use my Discord, use my community, use my stream chats, use another creator's community, another creator's Discord, another creator's stream chats. Use mine first, of course, because if you want A tier, S tier content, that's not going to fuck you around. You want genuine people who aren't sex pests, weirdos, and just straight up Twitch bread-ridden fucking rats. Hey, anyone here for chillers? Yeah, fuck that energy. No one wants to do naked tobs of your dumbass Oz tob. Alright, just chill out. Come to the King Condor community, and I've got you covered. We got people that you can raid with. Just don't be a weird cunt, and you're fine. You can find fentanyl. You can find fentanyl and plenty of friends here with the Yama update coming out soon. Now, I personally think, I'm looking at this Yama update. This is a bit of insider trader information, but everyone's over here worrying about the tormented synapses. If there's any melee role inside of Yama that becomes even remotely useful, I don't see the Scythe not being best in slot. So just keep that in mind. That's my personal opinion. I'm sure Wade Green will give us an update on that very soon. But you guys try convince me that the Scythe isn't going to be best in slot. Unless it's stab related, then you're going to have the Fang. So fuck the Emberlight anyway, right? But, you know, we'll see how we go. There's mobile client updates. They fixed rendering issues, and they fixed a bug where the loot tracker database could become corrupted. Who gives a fuck about loot tracker? There's also a loot tracker bug fix on the normal client. Who gives a fuck about loot tracker? Other changes is kind of full of dead content. There's nothing special except when you start a Chambers of Xeric raid, it will now give you a message what side the raid is, because apparently, if for those that aren't aware, if it's a full raid, it won't give you a layout, right? You don't get a layout with a CM or a full raid because there's no... It's just the same fucking layout every time, but I guess you get a text in your box now too. No Oz LMS this week, thank God, because that shit was pissing me off. Was that last week? No, last week was a good week. Fuck. Alright, we're getting racist this week. It is what it is. But until then, watch out for the Grand Exchange update, because you're about to make some serious fucking cash in Oldschool Runescape. My name is Ryan. You're watching Rune News, and this is Rune News. Rune News. RuneScape 3 is normally an inspiration for bosses for Oldschool Runescape because of how the lore of RuneScape works. You get like Nex and Araxor, and even Godwall's Dungeon, unironically, was not in Oldschool Runescape when it was first released. But not this week. No, my friends, it goes much deeper than that. This week we get Yama. Yama is likely, and it's on trend to be the next best update coming to Oldschool RuneScape. You don't get that shit in RuneScape 3, because RuneScape 3 is fucking dog shit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Grand Exchange segment for Rune News. My name is Wade Green, and fucking obviously this week, the Tormented Synapse is the biggest rise. Everybody saw that coming because of Yama's release. Everyone's farming those Tormented Synapses thinking they're going to make it big. Fun fact, you're still poor and you're still dumb as shit, but I admire your ambition to make it big. But here's how it's going to work. These are going to keep on trending in an upward but slightly declining condition depending on how the big merchant clans want to go about it and the flippers. Eventually Yama will come out and they will likely plummet to the ground when people realize that there may be better choices than demon-made weapons for best in slot on an endgame boss, such as the T-Bow, the Shadow, and almost certainly the Scythe. Now, the demon-made weapons, especially the potent stuff, may become best in slot here. It would not surprise me if it was. It would make sense, especially with an offhand, especially if there's a way that Jagex wants to have a contract where you can't use one-handed weapons, but then that would fuck the bow up, so maybe not one-handed melee weapons or not one-handed mage weapons, which is how they can counteract things like the Scythe and the Shadow. We'll find out more, but in the meantime, it's perfect now to start farming the Synapses. Just don't fucking buy them, whatever you do. Now, of course, the biggest loss of the week, predictable, is the Rune Pouch, because last week, Jagex fucked up and we promoted a pretty ambiguous scam on how to get your friends to pay for a Rune Pouch like a dickhead. They fixed that patch, but you idiots still fell for it anyway and tried to fucking buy them, and there was a nice price spike, and now it's dropping back down again. So if you invested and lost money, suck shit, dickhead, not my fault. Don't listen to everything you see on the internet. That being said, we are investing heavily in the Cypher Vitur, and surprised that it hasn't shifted a whole lot still. People are still out here thinking that the Cypher isn't going to be best in slot melee on Yama, which makes zero fucking sense unless you're forced to have two hands, like a one-handed weapon and an offhand. That is the only way that this changes. There may be boosted demonic damage rates, but even then, that wouldn't make any sense, because the contract's meant to make Yama harder to get better gear, better loot droops, and better drops. It's kind of like a free kill if the Scythe can go in there and start whacking cunts. So 1.8 bill is a fucking steal for this weapon at the moment, and that's why we're holding over 100 right now, ready to start dropping them hard as soon as they hit that 2 bill mark. Scythe, very big, likely to go up even bigger, but that's just a Wade Green prediction confirmed by Mod Ash himself. Theater of Blood is the raid to be doing at the moment. And then finally, it's prime time to be buying Mole Slippers, because everyone's worrying about Synapses and Scythes. No one's worrying about the big ticket moneymaker right here, which means it's prime time to invest in Mole Slippers. Every time there's a big update coming out and big release, everyone everyone's investing their time in Zulrah and all this other shit trying to make money. This is where the money is made. You buy the mole sippers now because in about 3 weeks time when the high start off of Yama, this shit is going to fucking skyrocket to the moon. And you will be surprised. You'll be very surprised when you go, fuck, I should have invested, but you're too busy dicking about with synapses you couldn't even fucking afford anyway. Mole sippers are the key. Mole sippers are the way. Tell your friends about it in about 2 weeks time once you've bought all of yours. That way you gain a fuck ton of money. Buy your mole sippers today and become a rich cunt tomorrow. Have a good night. Now our first Ironman moment for the week goes to good day to you all getting a Tans Fang from Zulrah. How convenient. A Zulrah update and a Zulrah drop. 7 fucking mil. 7 mil. I mean, that's expected with the release of Yama. Zulrah always goes up in value because of Zulrah scales, which is pretty much the whole point of the uniques going up, which increases the boss's revenue exponentially. So, fucking good 7 mil, mate. Nice work. Then secondly, we've got Brian Venny getting himself some Ranger boots. Don't know what KC doesn't say, but he's got the Ranger boots there. Looking at the KC's on the side there. 40 fucking KC. My man. Very good. Excellent choice. You should be very happy with that drop. In fact, everyone in the game should be very happy with their drops, except for this fucking guy here. It's Damon, because he just dropped 400 fucking mil on a PvP world. He was out there PKing, where people like to lure and scam outside of Lumbridge on a PvP world, and he geared up for he geared up for Muspar on a PvP world on mobile, and then went to hop, and it didn't hop because there's like a prompt for some reason. I don't know why. I think this is the story anyway. And then he stepped down to a danger zone and got fucking killed. There's 101 things wrong in that situation. There's prompts that shouldn't be prompting that cause you to run out. There's people baiting and luring that aren't getting banned for it on PvP worlds. There's Damon gearing up in 400 mil on a PvP world regardless of what his fucking next task is. Hot world first. There's 101 things going on in this situation that are not amicable. But one thing for sure about this that we can all agree on is that it's fucking hilarious that happened. Bad luck, Damon. Sit the fuck down. Enjoy the rebuild. Looking forward to hearing about your story throughout the stream chats, because I'm looking forward to seeing you make some serious cash, especially with the release of Yama. Not like you got the fucking gear for Yama now, but you'll get there. You'll get back on that horse. I got you, dude. That, ladies and gentlemen, is it this week for Rune News. My name is Ryan. I'll see you all very soon in the live stream in about 12 hours time. Have a good night. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge.